Hey, my ADHD family, this is Yakini coming to you from ADHD Love. And today I'm going to get into transitions. So, literally, just moving your child from point A to point B and doing it in the time frame that you need them to do it. I'm not going to get into big life transitions, like, for example, moving to a whole new school district or dealing with their parents' divorce. I'm going to either talk about that in another video or I'll have some separate posts on it, but I'm just going to focus on, whether they're at home or at school, how do you just move them to the next activity? Okay, so let's get started. In general, as we all know, especially if they're young kids, it is a trigger to transition to a new activity. They're having fun, they want to play, they just really are enjoying what they're enjoying, or they may be watching a movie or whatever it may be. It can be difficult. The difference is between an ADHD child and a non-ADHD child is how they are processing that transition. And it is a trigger that is an emotionally tied trigger for a non-AD or for an ADHD child. So it is a big difference between the two. I actually read a really interesting article that explained this a little bit further. So the article talked about how there are fewer neurons in their reward center. So when a ADHD child goes through their day, they're just not feeling rewarded as much. So when they find something they really like and they really enjoy, they just connect to it and they are going to hyper focus and they're going to want to stay there all day long, right? Let me go into some of the tips that will help with transitions, at least that helped us with transitions. The first thing is that I put a schedule together for both of my children, and the schedule is detailed. It depends on the time of year. So during the school year, it is very detailed because obviously it has their particular classes, and then their summer schedule is less detailed, and it does have a little bit more flexibility. But regardless, there is some type of schedule that is put together and they know exactly what they are going to do from the time they're going to get up to the time they go to bed. And I actually make the schedule right before the beginning of the school year, and then I make the schedule right before summer starts. So I only make it once. Now, of course, the days may change a little bit and I may insert some things daily, but we will handle those things as we go. But they know what they're going to do each day by the morning, and there's no confusion. The second thing is that I actually insert some fun activities. And my daughter being older, her subject matter is a lot harder, so she doesn't have as many breaks, but I even insert breaks in for her. And then for him, he may have a 20 or 30-minute break depending on the day and depending on what other school subjects he has. And then obviously their breaks are a lot longer when it's during the summertime. But again, he knows exactly how long he has to do his free time. And his free time is his choice. Now, during the school year, his free time is more educational free time. So even if he's on the computer, he may be able to, contact his friends, or he may be able to do some fun games that deal with math that he enjoys. But during the summer, he may actually have, some free time with Roblox, for example, but it's scheduled in so he knows exactly how long his time frame is. The third thing that I do is that I give him warnings before he needs to transition to the next activity, right? So he gets a 15-minute warning, and then I give him a 5-minute warning. And this just helps him get in his head that it is time to transition to the next activity. And that has overall worked really well. The other thing that I do sometimes, if I know I have meetings, I will give him a timer. He will set the timer, and then again, he will know once that timer goes off, it is time to transition to the next activity. And that has worked really well because he's the one that controls the timer and actually sets it on his own, and that has been a huge win for us. Another one is just allowing for extra time. So again, even though there are certain things that we have to do on schedule, I allow for extra time for that transition. So I don't just do the 5 minutes. I give him 15 minutes and whatever I can give him. It may be 20 minutes if it's during the summer, but I give him a little bit of extra time to get himself ready so he knows that he has to get up from the computer, for example, to move to the next activity. Another interesting tip that We actually do, but I didn't really think of it as part of his process. It's just something that we do. But I found it, in an article as part of their tips, and that is give them something to do during that transition, right? Remember, they're, especially your hyperactive ones, I mean, they're continuously moving. And if you give them something to do during their transitions to let them know they completed one activity and then going to the next activity, that could be helpful too. So in my case, I actually have, like I said, the schedule, and they actually check it off as they go. So I forgot to say that we do write this out on a daily basis, and especially during the school year. The summer is set, so they don't really do the check off, but during the school year, we actually write it out every single day. And so that way they can actually literally scratch it off, and that also lets me know where they are in their schedule. And one of the other areas that they recommended is maybe dropping marbles. So every time they finish an activity, they drop marbles in a jar. But just giving them something during the transition could help them too. And then just overall, this is not more of a duty for them, but just for you as the parent or guardian, stay calm through this process. Yes, it works beautifully some days, but then some days they are just off, and it is what it is. But having more good days because you follow some of these ideas is better than having continuously bad days. And I'm telling you, it really does work, especially after they've gotten into the groove. It has worked for my children very well, and it has been a rewarding experience. And the older they get, the better it even works, right? Because they're just getting older and they just know what they need to do. So those are the tips that I wanted to share with you. If you have any other tips, please definitely share them in the comments below. And I definitely want to hear from you. I look forward to connecting with you again, and have a wonderful and blessed day. All right, take care.